Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere outside of Cleveland, Ohio, to be pseudo-specific. My name is BrianEngelman. Today is Wednesday, December the 10th, 2025. And this right here is the Unhappy Hour Sports Show, brought to you on the new American media, because the old American media has failed you. On today's program, we're going to be talking Browns. We're going to be talking Buckeyes. We're going to be talking maybe a little bit of Cavs with special guest Zak Baris. So let's buckle up and get it started.
Hi, this is Eric Metcalf, and you're watching Unhappy Hour.
Eric Metcalf. He's a real mensch, that guy. He's a real mensch, that guy. What a nice guy, Eric Metcalf. Met him in Los Angeles. Zak Baris.
How's it going, Brian?
Well, you know, it's going. We see all those reflog memes about, destroying your weekend, and it's like the side-by-side, and about how the Browns and the Buckeyes, like, well, at least we have the Buckeyes, and then it's like, how could this get any worse? Well, Ohio State, Indiana. So I guess maybe let's start on the positive note here. Good to have you with us. Zak has been a longtime friend of the show. Going back to the good old
My
days.
first appearance was during the the Baron Davis trade.
That was your very first show.
And
Baron
I remember
Davis
getting on the air
met us.
talking about how valuable that pick could be, even though it was projected to go at number 8. It turned out to be our buddy Kyrie Irving.
I wonder, now that we've seen and by the way, there's a big conversation going on about NFL rigging and point shaving, and what was the latest one? It was Pete Carroll called a timeout, and the refs put time back on the clock for 4 seconds to kick a field goal to make sure the over covered instead of the under. Cleveland baseball has 2 pitchers facing 60 years in prison for rigging games and gambling and whatever they're hitting them with.
What's crazy about that, real quickly, you're talking about $12,000 for Emmanuel Clase. Edwin Diaz, Clase's got a year left on his deal. Edwin Diaz just got $23 million a year. Clase would have topped 25 to 30, which is nuts to me. Is Clase probably would have gotten a 4-year, $100 million deal, or 5-year, 125, 5 years, 135, over 12,000 measly dollars. I mean, clearly in the Dominican, they did not teach these guys math.
It's brutal. It's ridiculous. It's you can't even explain, and I wonder how much that played a role in the Indians losing to the Yankees. What was it, 2 years ago then? Not this playoffs, but the one before. He pitched well. Clase did until that. You wonder, is there more to this story? Are we getting a piece and there's a whole bunch more when you peel back the layers of the bloomin' onion? I don't know. But the Baron Davis trade, yeah, we saw it with Cooper Flagg. I have a Dallas Mavericks thing hanging up over there. Payment. All right, we're going to ship you Anthony Davis, our golden child, the king, LeBron James. All right, we need your superstar. We want Luka. No, we can't do it straight up. But hey, on the DL, I know we're going to bring in a professional firm to make sure this is completely on the up and up, whether it's a frozen envelope or not. I mean, come on. Dallas gets the first overall pick for Cooper Flagg after handing Luka.
It's not like they're any good.
I mean, that's true. Well, that's why they ran Nico out of there, right? Like they booing him out of bars, and he's persona non grata in that entire city.
It's crazy this year. This draft is so talented this year that Cooper Flagg might not even go in the top 5.
Oh, if last
this year's class, yeah, you've got guys. I'm telling you, this is such a talented class this year, and it's not like I'm watching a ton of college basketball. Right. But this is so much better than last year, and this might replenish the superstardom in the NBA that's seriously lacking right now.
Oh, who are the names to who do you think? Throw a few at the dartboard.
You got Darren Peterson from Kansas, who will be the first overall pick, or should be.
And by the way, who do these players remind you? Does their game?
Well, you've got Cameron Boozer, who's a way better version of his dad.
Boozer was good.
Yeah, you've got AJ. I can never pronounce his name. Dibanasta.
It's a good effort.
From BYU, who's really good. You've got Caleb Wilson from North Carolina, Mikael Brown Jr. I mean, you've got a lot of really good, talented players in this draft where I'm not sure Cooper Kupp would go. I mean, Cooper Flag would go top 5. Cooper Kupp definitely wouldn't go top 5.
not in basketball anyway, especially not this stage of his career. Yeah, but it is interesting. We talked about Baron Davis. Shocking. The LeBron's all set to come back. It's like, well, we're going to need some more talent. Why don't you hook the Cavs up with the number 1 pick, and then I'll go there next year.
Brian, I don't believe the lottery's fixed at all with Deloitte being in there.
Yeah, because big institutions can't be corrupted.
Brian, that one, I know people who were in the lottery, like who've been in that room. That is not, I'm telling you, the way it's done, it's a combination of pick. Like, there's no way that's rigged. Maybe the Knicks one for Patrick Ewing was, but there's no way that's rigged nowadays. None. Listen, it's way more likely that players are shaving points.
Wow.
Let me just put it like that.
Did you have any thoughts on the NFL? Because Stefanski's punting it from the 29-yard line. Pete Carroll's
up by 2 touchdowns with under a minute left. That was more just, hey, listen, we don't want anything bad to happen. We're willing to have an 8-yard net punt. We're not giving the field goal blocked and having it returned. We're kicking this ball out of bounds. That's what it was. I'm not overthinking it.
All right. Anything on the Pete Carroll one from this week, kicking the completely meaningless 3-point field goal at the end with 4 seconds, like just to ruin the over-under? It was.
I have no clue. I mean, I wasn't watching it, but I heard about it, obviously. I mean, it's weird. It's weird.
It is weird.
I mean, there's so much going on with like the point shaving, the betting. And the problem is these players are doing it. What the crazy part is, if you're betting through a legal gambling system, okay? So if you're doing it through BetMGM, FanDuel, any of those, okay? And there's an odd bet placed, it gets flagged right away. If you're betting $20,000.
That's the best point I've ever heard made about this, yes.
And that's the thing. It's automatically getting flagged. It's running through a computer. So if there's an anomaly and there's a bet that shouldn't be being placed and it's not being placed often, then it's going to flag something. And they notice it multiple times with the same player and the same prop bet or micro bet, which is being placed. A micro bet is based on like what Classe was doing on the first pitch every time. And there's an abnormal amount of money being placed at the first batter he's going to every time. So it's like all of a sudden that's giving $26,000, $5,000 here, $10,000 here. It's like, okay. Then all of a sudden
it almost reveals itself automatically because it's so obvious. It's a sore thumb.
That's the problem. It's so obvious. And that's the issue with it. It's so obvious, and that's the problem with it. So those get flagged every time. If this were the 1970s, 80s, 90s, before you could track every single bet coming through your phone, through your computer, and you're just going up to a random sports book once here and there, okay, it's probably not getting flagged.
Yeah.
You're making one $20,000 bet in Vegas at the MGM in 1995. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody's seeing it. Here, you can run down so quickly who placed the bet from what account. Is it the same person doing it? Let's flag this one. Then we go subpoena them, get their bank records. Why did they withdraw all this cash? Where did it go? Who did they send a Venmo payment to? Oh, it went to Emmanuel Classe. I mean, again, it is impossible in today's day and age not to leave a paper trail.
Really is. Do you know the comedian Jeff Dye?
No.
He's really good. You should look him up. But he tells this story about how he had to rebuild his life. He got drunk. He crashed his car. And there it was. He drove a Tesla. He goes, how dumb was I? For me, all you have, it shows up in the court case, like you're getting charged with stuff. You got 13 angles. All it shows is you behind the wheel going.
That's a problem too. It's like
trying to run away, and you're on 13 doorbell ring cams, and it's like there's no pretending, no hiding from a crime.
It's the same thing nowadays. How I tell people nowadays, we're never going to have, we're never going to have a John Wayne Gacy or a Ted Bundy again, because it's actually impossible to get away with killing 40, 50 plus people without being seen on camera. Your car's tracking you nowadays. Your phone. Look at Brian Koberger in Idaho. Numbnut shut off his phone. He was a criminology major. And Numbnut just shuts on his phone rather than just leaving it on at home. Drives around. His car's on camera all night. It's showing all night. And then they were able to trace the knife sheath that they found at the scene. Couldn't get the murder weapon. But dumbass bought it on Amazon. And they found it on his Amazon account. Like, at least go buy it at a house sale.
Yeah, and this is, by the way, on the heels of the J6 pipe bomber. Oh, the thing you had in front of you for 4 years, we finally have a suspect to arrest. It's like, you had it 4 years ago. He's on camera. Like, you can track all the stuff he did, where he went. Like, it's a paper trail a mile long. But
that's
I don't
the
know.
thing. It's
so
actually impossible to get away with this stuff nowadays. They make it so difficult. I was explaining, I was driving the other night with my girlfriend. We're driving around, and she's like, with the technology in your car can track you. I go, you have one of these.
Mm-hmm.
It can track you. Also,
Yep.
I said, by the way, you see this utility pole right there? That is a traffic camera. It's not giving you a ticket, but then you can read your license plate. I go, all these cars have GPS. You go to look up something in your phone. They know where your map is. They know where you're going. I go, if you want to get away with it, go to AAA and get a trip tick. Only problem is
they'll have you on camera at the counter. Well, and that's what
your AAA membership.
On the TNAM Daily Show, we've been covering the Cinnabon story. The lady got fired. She was getting harassed, or she was harassed. There's back and forth what's going on in that case. And I'm calling on Cinnabon online. Hey, Cinnabon, release your video. Release the full information of, was this lady getting harassed? She finally got sick of the shit and told him to suck it, flicked him off, and said a mean word. It's like, come on. You're telling me Cinnabon doesn't have their cashier, the register on camera? Of course they do. Release it.
Everyone does nowadays. Everything's on camera nowadays. It's like, like one time I was dealing with something and they're like, well, we don't know who broke into your car. And I go, there's a camera right here. I think that recorded it. I could tell exactly who it was. And we know exactly who did it because they pulled it out of another car and there's their license plate. So trace the license plate and let's go. It's not that difficult. It's almost impossible to get away with this stuff.
They care. But that's if they're competent, because there's a lot of incompetence. That's if they care. That's if they're not covering up for something else. Like, there's many layers.
Right. It's like another thing. I wear an Oura ring. Like, it's traceable. The thing has your location. This little ring tracks your location.
Thanks for reminding me.
It knows when I went on a run downtown. It knows exactly where I'm at. That's the whole thing too. Getting back to the gambling situation, serial killers, Rex Heuermann, the Gilgo Beach murderer. They caught him off of a fucking pizza slice, off of a pizza crust in the trash. Then they traced it. Dude did everything with a burner cell phone.
Everybody knows the rules. One crime. Everybody knows the rules.
Yeah. And they traced the guy with his burner phone back into Walmart where he's buying the phone.
Love it.
And terrorizing the victims over the phone, their family. I mean, like, again, the stupidity from the gambling is just, it's beyond me. I just don't get it. Like, you just risk hundreds of millions of dollars. And Luis Ortiz, let's say Ortiz was a potential number 4 starter in the league. What's that getting on the open market? 20+ million a year?
It's insane. These are going to be the test cases that the players' unions are going to walk you through. Every rookie, every year, you're going to have to sit down and do your lesson. You're going to have to sit through your corporate PR, HR program rather. No sexual harassment. Now look, here's an example of no gambling. Look at don't be like Emmanuel Class. He's forever going to be the poster child for stupidity and throwing it all.
I mean, it's stupidity. Like, I get how you got away with it in the 80s, but you can't do that nowadays.
No. And
again, I mean, just, the arrogance of these guys. And again, like, it is so easy to figure out. When someone's placing an abnormally large amount of money on a random player, that'd be like me betting $25,000 one night on Thomas Bryant scoring below 10 points in a game. Nobody's betting on that and putting that kind of money. And if they are, you're doing it as fun little prop bets. I mean, here I am last year betting money on Ty Jerome on the over every night for $20 just to make the game interesting. And I won a lot of money, and then I lost it all in the playoffs against the Pacers. I'm like, oh, Ty Jerome above 20 points and above 20 points is easy money. All right, tonight I'll throw 250 on it. Doesn't get it. I'm like, lost all my winnings.
Yeah,
but it's fun to make $20 a night doing it.
Yeah, that Pacers series was rough. I thought we retooled. Maybe, like you said, maybe it's because we're injured. We'll get to the Cavs in a minute. Let's pause all that and reset here and start with something. We're talking about arrogance. We're talking about getting lucky. We're talking about all these. Shedeur Sanders. How lucky were we that he slipped to the 5th round where he could get him for peanuts? Was it his arrogance that landed him there? Because compared to Cam Ward, we got the number 1 pick versus Shedeur.
I think it was his
Who
pre-draft.
played better, you know?
His pre-draft arrogance, the way I was not there at the combine, but from what I've heard was that he didn't take the process seriously, didn't care. And that caused a slip to the 5th round. He also was very selective on teams he wanted to go to. He could have been a 4th round pick by the Ravens, I think it was, and said no. Didn't want to go to the Ravens. He didn't want to be backing up Lamar. He wanted an opportunity to start.
Mm-hmm.
So there you have it. 31 teams passed him. Also as a backup, you don't want your backup being a bigger distraction than your starter. Do you remember when Joe Thomas said that about Johnny Manziel?
Oh, yeah.
He goes, the reason he's cut because he's a bigger distraction than whoever your starting quarterback is going to be. And that's the problem.
Well, Johnny
Shedeur has been, but Shedeur's been a model citizen in that building since day one. He did a very good job last summer, handling the reins. Had a really good preseason game and was horrible against the Rams. The Browns went with Gabriel, which I believe was Stefanski's pick, who Stefanski really liked in the 3rd round, and just proved that Gabriel's not even a viable backup in the NFL. Maybe he is. He looked good against the Vikings, but man, he looks rough. Okay. He looks very, very
He looks
rough.
either terrified or coached out of or incapable of throwing downfield. Terrified, coached out of, or incapable. Those are not, he wasn't awful making stupid mistakes per se. He wasn't doing the
He just doesn't have the talent. Like, he's one of those guys where if you trade him the Dolphins tomorrow, okay, in Mike McDaniel's offense behind Tua, with the offense they run and the talent they have, he might be a fit as a backup quarterback. I can believe that. He reminds me of a smaller, crappier version of Tua. Sanders has a bigger arm. It's more accurate. Sanders' issue has always been he spends too much time in the pocket and doesn't know when to get rid of the football. He even did it on Sunday a couple times, but I got to tell you, I walked away from the Raiders game being very impressed. 49ers game, that was a tough one. Just our special teams didn't do us any favors.
That's a broken record. Why won't we get rid of Bubba Ventrone? Separate issue, but
I've been asking that every game. So, that's a story for another day. But you look at Shedeur last week, calm, composed in the pocket, was able to hit Harold Fannin a bunch of times. Jerry Jeudy was catching the football. He made some really nice throws. I was impressed. And on a blind test, if you asked me who the first pick in the draft was, I would tell you it's Shedeur Sanders, not Cam Ward.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing is this is why I'm really hoping Shedeur's the answer. You have 4 games left against 3 very, very strong opponents. And that's going to Chicago this weekend, playing a -20 wind chill.
Ooh, that's what.
Then come home against Buffalo. You are at home against Pittsburgh, and then on the road, I believe, against Cincinnati, if I'm not mistaken. If you're the Browns and Shedeur looks like the answer, and let's just say you win 1 out of the 4. Doesn't matter.
Well, I think
but
his personal performance is way more important than the overall. That's special teams defense, of course, but
Sunday's performance is exactly what you wanted out of the Browns.
Get the loss.
You wanted Shedeur to look good. You wanted the special teams to suck and lose on some boneheaded play called by Kevin Stefanski.
By the way, that boneheaded call, that was an easy touchdown if Quinshawn pitches the ball. He was a wide open lane.
I know.
And
Quinshawn got lost. He's a lefty. And
2 quick points. Stefanski fell on the sword when he was asked about it at the press conference. He goes, look,
I was on the sword every week.
I know he sucks at press conference, but he goes, I'm not going to get into that. But he was defending Quinshawn. He didn't want to go, yeah, the dummy didn't throw the ball. It was a wide open touch. I'm not going to get, but like when I rewatched, I go, oh God, it was actually a good play call, just shitty execution. But I'm not a fan of the 2-point conversion anyway. Just kick the extra point. I don't like these analytics overthinking common sense. Down by 14.
That's the problem with Stefanski. I noticed with this team, there's a lot of overthinking.
Yeah.
They overthink a lot of decisions. But let's go back to Shedeur Sanders real quick.
Go back to Shedeur. The second point I was going to make there is, do we give Stefanski any credit for Shedeur succeeding? But go ahead on Shedeur.
I think you do if he does look good, because again, the Browns were right to sit him at the beginning of the year.
Probably were.
You need to get his footwork straightened out and his pocket presence. You didn't want to just throw him to the wolves right away. I even said if you would have taken him at number 2 overall, I would have still done the same thing. I would have still sat.
Yeah, get him ready.
Because that's what needs to be done. You don't always just want to throw a rookie in the fire without the talent. Look how bad Flacco looked in Cleveland. Look how good he looked in Cincinnati this year. It's because of talent around.
But it's also because Stefanski tries to coach the gunslinger aspect out of Baker, which is why they hated Baker, because he was complete. He had the highest completion percentage on those rollouts in the entire league, 30, 40, 50-yard bombs. And Stefanski's like, no, I'm smarter. I'm the smartest person in the room. 2 tight ends, dink and dunk, 4-yard passes. Darn you, kid. We're going to.
They kept lining up in 11 person. They kept lining up in 12 personnel.
So,
it was that was Stefanski's issue, and I get what you're saying here.
And he scared Dylan
Shedeur,
Gabriel, so he couldn't even play the Dylan Gabriel game. Maybe Dylan can't see past the line, or maybe he was coached into terror.
Dylan looked lost, and it was very obvious he looked lost.
Mm-hmm.
Shedeur looks like he could be a real quarterback out there. And take a look at this draft. If Shedeur looks good the next 4 weeks, okay, let's take a look at this.
Yes.
You traded down from 2 to 5. You got Mason Graham.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Graham looks like a star.
And Graham has helped Myles Garrett have a potential record-breaking season.
Graham looks like a star. He's also made Isaiah McGuire looks phenomenal. Alex Wright looks phenomenal. Malik Collins looked like the best defensive tackle in the league before he tore his Achilles. Shelby Harris looks phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Their whole defensive line looks phenomenal. Yeah. Okay. Devin Bush is having one of the best seasons I've ever seen from a middle linebacker. Okay. Which was a great pickup.
And Carson Schlesinger is helping with that.
Hold on. I'm not there yet. Get to Carson Schlesinger with the first pick of the second round. Stud. You use the Jaguar second round pick on Judkins. Stud. Harold Fannin, third round. Stud. Gabriel, probably a bust, okay? Let's go to the next pick. I believe it was you had Harold Fannin, Gabriel. Then you had Shedeur. And you had Dylan Sampson and then Shedeur.
I didn't understand the Dylan Gabriel.
I love the Sampson pick. You had to get a second running back in the. And by the way, he is explosive. I loved him at Tennessee. I would have taken him in the second round. I love Sampson so much. Just go back and rewatch his film. He's so explosive.
Well, I'm not saying that for Shedeur. I mean, it went for a touch. The guy was shot out of a rocket like a slingshot.
He's like shot out of a cannon. The guy runs like a 4.2. So you get him, and then you get Shedeur. And if Shedeur is your franchise quarterback in the 5th round, hypothetically, let's just say hypothetically he is. Right. Okay? You walk away with a quarterback, 2 running backs, a star tight end, a star defensive tackle, and a star off-ball linebacker.
Oh, by the way, defensive rookie of the year, potential Pro Bowl middle linebacker Carson Schlesinger, by the way.
So that's pretty impressive. I would say that. And you also picked up an extra first rounder, which you can use on like a guy like Caden Proctor. And the latest mock today from ESPN, it had the Browns taking Carnell Tate at 4 and Caden Proctor at 26.
Yeah, it wouldn't load for me past 26 or 24 or something like it. Great.
So I think I would suggest you get on the call with Spectrum.
Actually, I used to be logged in as you on the ESPN, so I could get all like their fancy articles.
I still have it. I just probably need to I need to give it back to you.
Yeah, shoot me a text or something if you think about it.
But yeah, so if you have an extra first round pick and you walk away,
that first round pick might be 32 though. By the way, the damn Jaguars are playing. They're like 9-3.
Let's just say right now it is where it is. It's at 26. Okay, and you take Caden Proctor and Carnell Tate. And let's just say you go out and you sign Tyler Linderbaum from the Ravens in free agency. If you walk in with, and again, maybe you draft another receiver in the early second round or another interior offensive lineman. You could realistically have 4 new starters on your O-line next year, add a receiver, do another one by trade, and really fix this and give Shedeur the tools that he needs, because it doesn't matter. If the Browns were to use 2 first-round picks, trade up for Fernando Mendoza, he's in the same predicament that Shedeur, Dylan Gabriel, and Flacco are now, where you have no weapons.
No line to protect him and no wide receiver. But Shedeur makes Judy look like a number 1 receiver again.
And I like Dante Moore as a prospect. Problem is, if you're coming to Cleveland and you're got complete crap around you, you're not going to succeed. Yeah. I'm sorry. Shedeur might be the guy that can get us out of there. And don't forget, you've got a quarterback on a rookie deal. Not a first-round quarterback on a rookie deal. You have a 5th-round quarterback on a rookie deal who signed super cheap.
Yeah, that bothered. I thought about that yesterday, and I had this concern. Zach, what if he gets this? Well, I have more value than my 5th round. I want to renegotiate. I'm going to sit out.
You can't do that yet. Can't do that.
To tell Maurice Claret that he can't go into the NFL draft after 1 year. He tried it anyway.
And didn't do it.
You know, people have tell Colin Kaepernick he's not worthy of $50 million. It doesn't mean they're going to listen.
Well, there's a reason why Colin Kaepernick's not
That's
playing.
my point, but you can be delusional. And the Sanders
I think Shedeur
are a little,
it behooves Shedeur to
It
play.
would.
Okay, I'm not really worried about him. So if you're looking at that, if I'm the Browns, I'm going, okay, listen, we're going to one more draft, and then 26, our cap comes back. We'll also have a little bit of cap room this year because of Watson's insurance policy. I believe it was roughly $3 million a week off the 16 weeks. I think max out at like $48 million. Plus, don't forget you got Greg Newsome off. Tyson Campbell has been a fantastic addition to this team. One more offseason, Browns should be competitive next year.
That sounds like you trust Andrew Berry to make the decision. They were having the conversation, and I'm. This is a potentially all-time top 10, top 5 great draft class. Any team, any year, to get this many stud play. This, of course, if Sanders pans out, if Schlesinger continues, if Graham, fucking Harold Fannin is incredible for my alma mater, Bowling.
I mean, you could go look back at the Drake May draft class from last year from the Patriots. One of the worst ever, but you got Drake May. That's all that matters.
Fun fact: Drake
you got
never thrown for 300 yards. Shedeur did. I think I saw that stat.
No, but I'm just saying last year the Patriots had an all-time bad class. I think Drake May is the only member of that class remaining.
Oh, wow.
Which is stunning.
Yeah.
But he's a top 3 quarterback in the NFL at this point. Give me 2 quarterbacks that are better than Drake May right now.
Oh, right now.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can.
Stafford.
He's that good.
Stafford's great. He's
Stafford and who else?
Here. Yeah, Baker early. Now he's injured Baker. We've seen this Baker. But
Baker's not better than Drake May. Don't even put him in the same
Well, in the first 6 games of the year, he was leading for MVP. Then he blew out his shoulder again, and it's like, shit.
But, where have we seen this before?
Groundhog.
Baker playing through an injury with 4 straight games less than 200 yards. Where have we seen this before?
Yep. Yeah. Fact.
Baker's problem every time.
Yeah. And they were goading him into it in that game I was watching. They're like, Baker, what does it say about your ability to run into the defense and get those extra tough yards? Hey, can you go run the ball a lot and then put your head down and really take a bunch of hits? It was like they were really goading him into being a runner. Of course, it was because he was successful doing it the previous games. It leads to him putting his head down and being a tough guy.
I'm a fan of Baker. I don't dislike Baker by any means.
I love him.
But Baker, I know you've got a boner for Baker. Listen, I don't put Baker as one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league like you do. I think he's a very good quarterback. But do I think he's a Super Bowl?
First 6, but not.
Do I think he's a Super Bowl level quarterback? No, I don't. I always think he's one of those guys, get you into the playoffs, get you middle of the playoffs, is never going to sniff a Super Bowl. Maybe he will. I doubt it.
Shedeur
Brian,
looks like he might be able to. Limited sample size, but Shedeur looks like he actually looks like an NFL quarterback comparing him to what we want.
You can build around Sanders. Probably the problem is the Browns were depleted of draft picks for 3 full seasons because of the fucking Watson trade. Okay,
yeah,
the Watson trade crushed us, and it kept forcing us to trade down to pick up more picks.
Yep.
And again, what happens when you keep trading down from a 2nd round to a 3rd round pick? Less elite talent. Mm-hmm. You're getting more depth, and that's what the Browns are drafting for. Getting guys like Jordan Elliott. You were drafting for depth, not upfront talent, and that was the problem. And then the cap room finally caught up with you at the quarterback, put you in a no-win situation. That's why the Browns had that 2-year window with Watson, and he was just terrible. And there's no reason not to have Watson on the roster next year unless he's a complete distraction. If he's not a complete distraction and Shedeur's you're going in there, keep Watson.
It's not like we can really trade him in his contract. It's not like we have many other options.
You can always cut him post June 1st, but why even do that? Wait another year. Let him rot on the bench for another year, and then you cut him.
Yeah, and his last game against his last game was against the Ravens. That's crazy because that was a perfect second half. I mean, he brought us.
No, that was not his last game. That's when he broke his clavicle.
I'm confusing.
He came back last year and he sucked.
He did suck.
He was really good in that Ravens game 2 years ago. We made the playoffs, and then he came back last year. It was complete dog shit, and then. He was complete dog shit, and then we went to Jameis Winston.
Who put up 500 yards, by the way.
I love Jameis, but Jameis is going to make some boneheaded plays, too.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Well, it's not like Brett Favre didn't make boneheaded plays. It's not like Steve Young.
Jameis is very similar. He's like a less talented Baker Mayfield. Jameis is going to make some very exciting plays. He's also going to make the most boneheaded plays. Baker does that, too, though. Baker makes some really boneheaded plays.
Less interceptions this year, but yes, I do take your point. Okay, so the Browns, what else do we need to talk about with the Browns? I just definitely want to talk about the draft class. Want to talk
You talk about the draft, and is Stefanski going to be back next season? That's the biggest question. I think it's best.
Have we been able to now separate the chain links of Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski? It used to be a package deal, but now
I don't think it's so much of a package deal. If the Browns can find what they want in a new coach in Stefanski, I think Stefanski just needs a fresh start with another.
Well, people are wondering Signetti and Mendoza. Bring him.
Signetti ain't coming to Cleveland. He just signed a massive extension in Indiana. There's no reason for him to leave. Indiana's got a massive NIL fund. No reason for him to leave.
Unless he's got that desire to be an NFL coach. Pride.
I mean, if he wins the national championship, maybe. But again,
still got a lot. Quarterback to the NFL. You go, oh, at least I have a story. You know, he could write his.
I just don't see him leaving. I don't.
And that might be the case. I was just throwing it out there.
He's taken arguably historically one of the worst college football programs in history to 2 straight college football playoffs.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
if we're done on the Browns, we can pivot to the Buckeyes.
Yeah, and we'll pivot to the Buckeyes. I mean, I walked into last week's game. Like last year when Ohio State lost to Michigan, I was furious.
Who did we lose to? Oh, I thought you said that team up north. You didn't use their name, did you?
I did last year. And this year,
first quarter was dicey. We took care of.
Ohio State starts every game shitty. But this is a meaningless game for Ohio State. What did they have to prove? They slipped one spot. They flipped from 1 to 2, 2 to 1. Who cares? I mean, the only thing that sucks is they're not playing in the Rose Bowl.
Now, what's interesting is that, well, maybe it was going to be the case. No, it wouldn't have been the case either way. If Indiana lost, I wonder, would they have slipped past 2? Would any of those other teams jump them, or you think they would have just been 1-2?
Nope, Indiana would have been a 2.
Because then it's like 1 and 2 play each other on the opposite sides of the bracket. So would it have made a difference if we would have had to play Indiana had they slipped to 3 or 4? Regardless, they wanted it.
Indiana would have been 2. It was going in 1-2. Unless Ohio State would have won by 49-0 or Indiana would have won 49-0, that's where Ohio State would have dropped to 3 or 4.
What was that Wisconsin game? Was that Dwayne Haskins, the Wisconsin Big Ten?
That was Cardale Jones.
Yeah, that was incredible. Yeah, that's an ass whooping there. But look, the Buckeyes, we had that first down inside the 10-yard. I think it was around the 5, and then they replayed it, and his knee went down a little bit short. I mean, we were going to punch something in there, if not a field goal. We missed a field goal. All right.
Day coach scared again, though. Day coach scared. You look at all the games where he's coach scared and kicked the field goal. Oregon last season. Michigan last season. Indiana this season. When Day loses his aggression, they lose. Kicking on a 4th and inches. At 3rd and 1, run the ball twice with Bo Jackson. Throw in Lincoln clean holes. Have him run it. You were going to get the first down. And why are you going to tie it with 2 minutes left when Mendoza's arm is phenomenal? No. You have to score a touchdown in that situation, take the lead. You want the 4-point lead. Why are you trying to tie the game up? So Indiana can move the ball 30 yards downfield on Mendoza's arm?
But you're supposed to look at the historically great Buckeyes defense and say, good luck. Nobody's moving.
Oh, can I give credit real quick where it's due? Indiana's front 7 and their front 4. Wow. They were in Julian Saint's face all night. Indiana's defense was as good of a defensive I've ever seen. I mean, you got to understand, Ohio State has a first-round pick, Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate. Bo Jackson will be an eventual first or second rounder. You have multiple first-rounders on that offensive line. Max Clare, the tight end, will be a second-rounder. Julian Saint, probably in 2 years, will be the first overall pick. What Indiana did there was unbelievable.
It was.
Really unbelievable.
You know, I kept getting the feeling that Bo Jackson was about to break one, and you'd see on the replay, like somebody reached out an arm and swatted it, and it just barely.
There's a lot of holding calls by the Big Ten refs. We're not calling anything.
Oh, the holding calls were
a ton of holding calls all night. Didn't call them, and every time Ohio State got to the quarterback, every time Caden Curry's getting there, tackled.
Yeah. Oh, Caden.
Who's Ohio State's first-round opponent on that?
Here, we'll get to that in 1 second. But what about Caden Curry? That very first play against Mendoza, knocking him down. You know what happened to me? I stood up and yelled, "No!" I'm a Buckeye fan.
We got another Mendoza brother,
but I didn't want to see him out. I was like,
"No, you want to see a clean game."
No.
I was like, "Oh, that's brutal," and he came back a play later, and his brother came in.
Yeah. It showed a little bit.
Which I actually thought was pretty cool. I didn't realize Alberto was His brother was the backup there. I had no clue.
Yeah, I saw that earlier in the season. I watched them swap out. I'm like, what is this? That's weird. And it's also cool. Yeah, I wish I could have played with my brother. We were like 1 year apart. That would have been crazy.
That was really cool. I'm going to give it to him. That was really, really cool. But again, Ohio State, they lost a meaningless football game is how you have to look at it. The only thing it did was ruin their perfect season. Yeah. But do I think Indiana could beat Ohio State twice? I think Ohio State played the crappiest game possible. I don't think Indiana played great either, but I think their defense played great, but I think Ohio State played their worst game possible.
It was not our best effort. No, it was not.
Yeah, Ohio State looked bad.
Well, let's take a look here. You were asking who Ohio State plays. They're going to play the winner.
They're playing the winner of Tech Miami.
So maybe buzz through these matchups. Miami and Texas A&M. Do you think Miami getting the number 10 spot, it was the right call?
I think they could win the game.
Well, because I think Notre Dame should have maybe been selected.
Okay, let me just put it this way.
How do we sort that out?
Okay, the selection process was so stupid. How do you leave Notre Dame out in 2? With TV rights, you think anybody's going to watch James Madison at Oregon? Oregon's going to curb stomp them. It'll be 40-0.
That feels that.
Okay, I want to see the most competitive football. I don't give a shit if a mid-major like Tulane or James Madison's in. I want to see the top 12 teams in the country.
Yeah.
I would have preferred to see Vanderbilt. Listen, my dad's a Tulane alum. I've had a lot of family go to Tulane. I think it's very cool. But they got kicked by Ole Miss by 30 points earlier in the year. And I think lost to Houston. Like, it's not like Tulane has a great resume. You know you're not going to see them there in the finals.
So you would have gone Notre Dame there, maybe.
Absolutely. It's not that I'm a Notre Dame fan, because you know I'm not. It's the fact that Notre Dame would have provided the best game. Notre Dame, Oregon. That would have been a great game.
Yeah, a classic matchup. I was telling the story on the show yesterday. We had special guest Bob France on the show. Stay tuned. We might be seeing more of Bob in the future, a broadcaster with Cleveland sports pedigree and his political commentary, of course. But yeah, I was telling the story of how I was reporting on the inauguration in Washington, D.C., outside of the D.C. gulag, as they called it, when the J6ers were their sentences were being commuted, interviewing Ashley Babbitt's mother and all sorts of people out there. Freezing, bitter cold all day. It was on the national championship day. When we were done, freezing. When we were done, I walked 2 blocks up this little hill, and at the top of the hill was it was an Irish pub. It was an Irish sports pub, and it had the "Play Like a Champion Today" sign when you'd walk in to use the restroom. There was myself and one other Buckeye fan in a sea of Notre Dame fans watching that championship game last year. Epic game, epic victory, fantastic. Just it brings back the memories. But yeah, Notre Dame is a storied franchise. Tulane and James Madison.
Exactly. It's just, again,
what are we doing?
You're not even going to sell out the game is the problem.
Yeah.
It'll sell out with Oregon fans, like against James Madison stuff. But again, if they get to the second round, they're screwed. And I don't think either one of them will. Don't forget, no team with a bye last year made it out of the second round.
Yeah, that was weird. Should we be worried about the same thing? Do you think there's a curse to that?
I think it's possible. Listen, when you have the 12 best teams in the country, really the 10 best teams in the country, it's entirely possible. Yeah. Do I think Alabama could beat Ohio State? No. But again, it's any given Saturday in college football. John Mateer, if he does what he did early in the season, yes, they could.
I think let's look at past Oregon, James Madison, Texas Tech. Isn't that the team that BYU said was easily the best team in the country, and they played them twice?
Texas Tech's defense is
almost as good as the Buckeyes.
That was really, really good. Their defense, wow, I was impressed. That defense was fast.
And so they're sitting there waiting to pick off the winner of James Madison, Oregon. Alabama, Oklahoma waiting to play Indiana. Do you think either of those teams?
The way Ty Simpson's looked recently, I would take Oklahoma in that game, just because Alabama, Ty Simpson has not looked good the last few weeks. If he goes back to reverts to Ty Simpson from earlier in the season, yes. But here's my whole thing. Why did Texas get penalized for losing to a 3-win Florida team when Alabama didn't get penalized for losing to a 5-win Florida State team?
Good point. I don't know.
Notre Dame lost by a total of 4 points to A&M in Miami. And Notre Dame lost on the road to Miami.
So they have a case. They've got a little bit of a. Do you think they should just join a doggone conference already? It's biting them in the butt.
Yes, Notre Dame should. Here's what you want to talk about: real realignment. What should happen?
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska moves back to the Big 12. Rutgers and Maryland go to the ACC. Notre Dame moves into the Big 10 along with Cal and Stanford.
I think it's weird having West Coast teams in the Big 10. I
like it, to be honest with you. I love watching Ohio State, Washington, or Oregon, Michigan. It's cool. USC, I really, really like it. I actually do.
Shouldn't we maybe just do something basic then and just say, you got a Big 10. It's so big, there's 2 of them. East of the Mississippi, 10, west of the Mississippi, 10. And just pick 10 from west of the Mississippi, 10 of the east. Actually, not 18 teams.
The problem
12,
is
14,
with that. The problem is with that, you have years where Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State are going to be dominant, Notre Dame, and then you're going to have the crap 4-loss, 5-loss USC coming from the West Coast in there to the Big 10 title game. That's the problem with it.
Yeah.
It's the same with the SEC East and the SEC West. Picking up Texas, Missouri, and Oklahoma was huge for the SEC. It's the ACC is struggling because the only talented team in there is Miami?
This year?
I mean, the ACC is pathetic. A 5-loss Duke team just won the conference. The whole conference, a bunch of pushovers.
Yeah. And that messed up a lot of that messed up a lot of plans. It showed some of the flaws in this. Seems like every year in the offseason we're tweaking it.
At least they didn't have Duke, the conference champion, even getting in the playoff, let alone a first-round bye.
Yeah. I mean, James Madison has entered the chat. I mean, you're just trying to – Tulane is here. Still question marks around. Do you think 12 teams is the right number? I think when I was talking to Bob yesterday –
Brian, you get up to 16 at the number 25 team, and the number 24 team should never even been in the conversation to win a national championship. Really, it was 4. Then it was, okay, then is 6 too many? Is 8 too many? Now it's 12. Oh, number 16 doesn't get it. Listen, you lose 3 or 4 games, you don't deserve a chance to compete for the national title. My opinion.
Yeah.
Keep it at 12. I'd be fine if you went down to 8.
And I don't mind the bye week. I think if you're one of those best.
I don't mind if they went down to 8.
Yeah. Tighten it up even more. Don't loosen it up even more. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. We're suddenly going to get to 64 teams. We're going to have a team that's not even bowl eligible.
Yeah. Okay. We need a top 64. We need a round robin, just like basketball. They'll be saying sooner. Well, if the money's
never enough. Everybody deserves. Oh, the inclusion. Everybody should be in the playoffs.
Everybody gets a ribbon.
Kent State is a 16 seed.
Yes, participation trophies for everyone. All right, let's look at Tulane, Ole Miss. You think Ole Miss runs away with this?
I think Ole Miss curb stomps them.
So then, when they play Georgia, what are you anticipating?
I think Georgia's going to beat Ole Miss.
Okay, so we'll put it there. Miami, Texas A&M.
That's a toss up. It all depends how Carson Beck plays. A&M. If they look off, wouldn't be surprised if Miami won. I do think A&M will win it. It's a home game. But don't forget the Cotton Bowl with A&M is essentially a home game for them too.
That's wild. Yeah. Buckeyes fans travel well, but still a home game is a home game.
Ohio State, this is a meaningless game for Ohio State. It's a semifinal game. Not even a semifinal game. It's a quarterfinal.
So it's not as big a deal as it will be to either of those 2 teams that show up.
No,
that's very true.
So Texas A&M is probably going to be out. They're going to be outnumbering Ohio State fans 3-1. If you're an Ohio State fan, where are you spending your money, Brian?
On every game.
Are you going to every game? No, you're going to spend to go.
Not me. I just expect everyone else to.
It happened last year with Ohio State.
Well, I think it happened in the Big House. They sold most of their tickets to Buckeye fans. That was unexpected.
You got to understand. Last year, Ohio State was even outnumbered in the Rose Bowl. Okay. Then they went and they played, who was in the quarterfinal? They played in the semifinal. Oh, no, they played Texas. They were outnumbered in Texas fans. Mm-hmm. But Ohio State had more fans at the national championship game than Notre Dame. That's the point. Ohio State is not going to go. They're not going to travel well for the upcoming game. They're going to be outnumbered in Texas.
But ultimately, when either Miami or Texas A&M meet the Buckeyes, you think the Buckeyes?
I think Ohio State will win. If they're on their game, I think Ohio State is hands down the best team in the country.
I agree. So theoretically, Georgia, Ohio State, if we're projecting it to be that.
Ohio State over Georgia.
Up here, you're thinking Indiana over Texas Tech then?
Well, we're not even there yet. It's Oregon, Texas Tech.
So you think Oregon over James Madison?
I think Oregon's going to beat Texas Tech too.
Okay. Dante Moore, you think the goodness of their offense is going to beat the goodness of the Tech defense?
I still think Oregon has a good defense. Oregon's going to beat Texas Tech.
Well, okay, so you think it's going to be Indiana,
Oregon.
And coming out of that?
Ohio State, Georgia, yes.
Okay. So then coming out of that, you think Indiana's going to?
I think it's going to be a rematch of Ohio State, Indiana.
That feels likely. Sort of like the whole season was built upon that.
Indiana, don't forget, Indiana beat Oregon on the road.
Yeah.
Indiana's pretty fucking good. I don't think people realize how good. It still feels so weird saying Indiana football.
I was listening to a chat. Maybe it was on Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. I don't recall where I was listening, or otherwise I'd attribute it. But they said if you squinted your eyes and just kind of blurred it out a little bit and you'd watch an Indiana team, it looked like a Bowling Green, a Miami of Ohio, some undersized players up against the big boys of the Buckeyes or Michigan or, something like that. But now if you squint your eyes, they look like they're the Buckeyes. They have the size, They have the speed, they have the
talent. They're all over the field. They're great receivers. They're really good.
So is that then a leveling, balancing set of roses, given the flowers to the NIL to kind of make teams more balanced across the league?
I also think it affected other traditional powerhouses in the fact that we're like, okay, we don't have the money like these schools do. In Indiana, with a wealthy alumni base, and it's a big school, was able to come in, pay these guys to come in here, and Signetti, they're able to pay their coach $10.5–11 million a year to coach there. The old Indiana would have never done that.
No, they haven't won the Big Ten since 1967, I believe. That's a long friggin' time. Yeah, I watched a game. I walked with Indiana. They looked good. What's that?
My dad was in high school.
Back when, way back when. You used to walk uphill both ways, right?
Yes, walk uphill 20 miles each way.
In the snow, of course. Yeah, well, look, I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, we're going to have some games to check out. We'll, fingers crossed, keep it posted. It is nice having the bye week. It's one less chance to roll.
It didn't help any of those teams last year. All 4 teams that had a bye last year lost.
Yes. Do you anticipate that being the anomaly, or do you anticipate the week off being the kryptonite?
Well, again, don't forget it's 2 weeks off.
2 weeks off being the kryptonite. Okay, that's right.
Well, it's not. There's a game. There's no football this weekend, is there? It's next weekend, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so it's 2 weeks off for these teams.
Okay.
2 buys. That's a long time to be off.
When you're 18, 19, 20. It's a long time to be locked in. All right, well, we'll see. We'll just have to see how it plays out. Clearly.
Do you remember, again, real quickly, do you remember when Ohio State got clobbered by Florida in the national title game in 2007? And Ohio State, that was before the Big Ten had a conference game. So they were literally off from November 22nd all the way to the second week of January. That was tough.
6 weeks, 5 weeks,
7 weeks.
Ugh.
Well, Florida was off for a month, 3 weeks less, 4 weeks less. So Florida had played. It's not an excuse. Florida was better, but when you're not playing for a long time, you get stagnant. It's not always good.
Well, Florida was better that day. I don't know. We had a really good team. The Buckeyes have had some great teams.
You go look at that Florida team in the NFL, though. That Florida team was pretty
they were good. I know. If you're going to lose, you might as well lose to some of the best. It takes some of the sting off. Unlike when we watched them against Clemson and over the past 5-8 years specifically, getting close. And what was that? Georgia missing the field goal? No, come on. You got to make the field goal. Why is this becoming a trend for the Buckeyes?
All of Jay's bad decisions always come down to missed field goals.
So just go for it.
Notice that?
Just grow the balls. He's got to hang out with the Lions coach. He's got to learn how to just go for it every time. Yes, Dan Campbell. All right, let's bounce over from this. We're going to watch the playoffs as it rolls through, of course, talking with Zak Baris here. I guess let's maybe wrap up. I don't know anything else we want to talk about in the world of sports other than
I think we're good.
the Cavaliers. Just to touch on the Cavs.
Let me dive into this real quick with the Cavs, and this is very quick. I do believe this year's Cavs option is they're not shooting the three well. You have your two best three-point shooters are out. Your two best floor spacers, Max Strus and Sam Merrill.
And what are those injuries again, and when do we expect them back?
Strus is coming back in maybe 2 weeks. Merrill should be back shortly too. Okay. But that's why I think they're struggling. Mobley's not shooting the three well. Lonzo Ball, which we all knew wasn't going to shoot the three well. But Lonzo is there for defensive purposes. That's why he's in Cleveland. He's there because Ty Jerome couldn't play bully ball in the playoffs and got clobbered against Indiana. That's why Jerome's gone and Merrill's still here. I do believe that the Cleveland will be just fine once those guys come back.
Just fine.
Just fine. Listen, are they going to win 75 games like the Thunder might this season? Because they're just that good, and they're going to have 2 lottery picks.
How did they do it? How did they do it all right?
Sam Presti, baby.
Very impressive for Presti. Impressive Presti. That's a good nickname. Does anyone call him that? Impressive Presti?
I don't know. And also one of my favorite bakeries in Little Italy.
Is that the one that you took Paul Brown?
I did. I took Paul to Presti.
I saw your story.
I took Paul Brown to Alpatati first to try the sandwich. And then we went to I took him to Presti's. I got him a cannoli. I was like in the raspberry Linzers and the apricot Linzers. I made him try. But yeah, we had a good time out here. I took him on the field before the Browns game a couple weeks ago. Paul's a true gentleman. We had a great time in London together. Unfortunately, we didn't get to meet up in New York. He was in Brooklyn. I was in Manhattan. But when he was in Cleveland, we got to hang out. So took him to Little Italy, showed him the East Side a little bit, showed him the Cedar Fairmount area. We had a great time.
Yeah, that is great. We ended up in the position meeting up with him and getting him it was maybe the closest I've ever been. I had front row tickets for a meaningless Jeff Driscoll-led Browns game against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, we were on the field. We were on the field pregame, so I took him on the field. And you know what's cool too is Paul gets on the field. He goes, "Here, hands me a stick of beef."
Oh, the
Joe Thomas's Hall of Fame beef. So I connect with Joe in London. He was on our trip in London with us. We flew directly on the Browns plane. So Joe, Gary Barnidge were on our flight. The front office, like ownership, we were on that flight. And so it was really cool. So I was talking with Joe and he's talking to us about Hall of Fame beef. It is fantastic. So I was going to order a bunch of stuff this week, like some Wagyu steaks and some burgers and stuff. But yeah, Paul got me hooked on those basically like Slim Jim sticks.
Yeah.
They're so good, the Wagyu sticks.
Yeah, I even just like the ones you grab from Trader Joe's. I'm a big fan.
These are off the charts. These were so good.
I can't wait to try them. Yeah,
get them with some pub cheese or some pimento.
Chef's kiss.
Delicious.
Chef's kiss. All right.
And shout out to Joe. He's just as good of a butcher as he was a football player. If that tells you something.
As good of a butcher as he was a blocker. The Butcher's Block. Ooh, the Butcher's Block. That's a name that he needs to use somehow in something.
Hall of Fame beef.
Butcher's Block. All right. Left tackle Joe Thomas. Unsolicited. He's not a sponsor of the show yet, but go out and check out.
But I just have to tell you, if anybody's in the need for a holiday gift, go for it. It's that good.
All right. It comes as highly recommended as Zach has recommended anything. All right. Any final odds and ends today for you, Zach, in the world of sports? Anything else catch your interest?
No, again, the Cleveland Indians / Guardians doing nothing in free agency, which was to be expected. Pete Alonso signed a 5-year deal with the Orioles today. Our big signing again will be Austin Hedges.
Shit. How soon does the ownership group change over where we'll finally spend some money?
I believe 27, 28.
That can't get here fast enough. I hope we don't waste Jose's entire career. Get him some help. Get him someone before him.
It'll happen. I'm curious to know I wanted to seriously know, did Emmanuel Clase throw those playoff games against the Yankees in the
I think
ALCS?
he might have. I'm not convinced he did. I think he might.
My brother-in-law's a diehard Yankees fan. Goes, that pitch to Judge, there's no way. He goes, Judge pulled that opposite field. He goes, there's no way the Judge one was.
It was just better hitting.
It was just an unbelievable at bat.
And you know what? If you talk to your attorney facing 60 years, all you got to do is just keep denying. Like, how would we ever know anyway? It's always going to be a speculation. I mean, unless he goes, yes, I did it. Maybe they'll offer him a plea deal if you just admit it. We're not going to throw you in, but we need to make an example. Just admit it, and I don't know. It just makes me sick to my stomach. And knowing what we could have retrieved back on the trade market for Class A, I don't know how many prospects and draft picks we would have gotten in return.
We would have gotten one of the top 5 prospect, top 10 prospect in baseball for him.
And now we get nothing.
So it's just disappointing.
Yeah, not much going on with the hot stove for the Cleveland, whatever they are, the baseballers.
Yeah, the Cleveland whatevers.
The Cleveland whatevers. All right.
Something Deans. The Cleveland Deans.
The Deans, yes, the Deans. Guard
Deans.
So crazy. All right.
Deans.
Well, then let's press pause for now. Zach, appreciate having you here. Anything you wanted to pitch or tell people to follow you anywhere, or any piece of wisdom?
I'm good.
Famous quote? Any little tidbit on your way out?
There once was a man from Nantucket.
In there we have it. All right, Zak Baris, thank you for joining us. We'll talk again, some more Cleveland sports. And
Have a good one, guys.
Take care. Thank you, Zach. All right, everybody. It's always fun talking to Zach. Follow us here on the Unhappy Hour Sports Show, brought to you on the New American Media. More content coming up. We got Strictly Football coming in tomorrow. I believe that's 3 p.m. Eastern time. I got to double check. They're blurring together because we did a Tuesday show and then the Thursday show. So I'll get back to you and let you know exactly what that's going to be. But yeah, follow us in all the places, please. We appreciate having you around this whole time. So signing out for everybody in the TNAM universe on behalf of Zach. I appreciate you. I love you. And we will talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Peace.